Chelsea beat Arsenal by 3 goals to 2. Pedro Morata put Chelsea ahead before Arsenal basically turned the game on its head and get back to 2-0 before half time. But Chelsea do dominate the second half as Alonso gets a late winner against yet another London rival to seal the win and keep the 3 points at Stamford Bridge. To find out everything about the game, literally everything you need to know, whether you've watched the game or you haven't, in all detail, make sure you watch this review until the end. Can you see their colour, yeah? Because that's blue. That's the same colour as London, because we beat Arsenal 3-2 today. Hello there guys, and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my review of the Chelsea 3, Arsenal 2 game. And what a game. Like, what an absolute blistering game of football. I said it in my preview yesterday. I expected it to be a great game of football, and Jesus Christ it was. I mean, what a first half especially. Jesus bloody Christ. But overall, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. And yeah, I mean, of course, we're covering all the Premier League games. There will be fan cams out. There will be a vlog out. There will be all sorts of reactions. Maybe the guys will even get interviews with some of the guys of Arsenal Fan TV. Or sorry, AFTV, what they're called these days. But yeah, no, it's amazing. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. And also, let's see whether we can hit 1,000 likes or more on this video. That'd be absolutely amazing. I mean, London is blue. We beat Arsenal. We can't really ask for much more. So smash that like button down below. We would massively appreciate it. But now getting straight into that review and starting it off with the lineup. And like I predicted yesterday, we started with the exact same lineup that started at Huddersfield last week. So it was Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. The fullbacks were Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso. The two centre-backs being Antonio Rudiger and David Luiz. A midfield three of Jorginho, N'Golo Kanté and Ross Barkley. The two wingers being Willian and Pedro, with Alvaro Morata starting up front. Eden Hazard and Kovacic both started the game on the bench, as you could expect, as I said in the preview yesterday as well. What annoyed me yet again a little bit is that Hudson-Odoi didn't make the bench when Moses did. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, by the way, was basically dropped and left out for Kovacic in the end. And getting into the game, Chelsea started really well on the front foot, dominating, passing the ball around, trying to create chances, but not really finding a way through, except for a few shots from distance. Because Arsenal actually had the first real chance of the game, as Ozil got to the end of an Iwobi cross, but thankfully put the ball just inches wide of the far post. But basically straight from that very goal kick after Ozil put that ball wide, Chelsea with Pedro made it 1-0 in the 9th minute. A ball was played out to Willian around the halfway line. He came inside, Bellerin followed him. Willian then laid it back to Jorginho while Alonso started his run down the byline. Jorginho played the perfect ball in behind to Alonso, who really did make a perfect run on that left side as well. Pedro came steaming in from the right towards the middle, and Alonso really had an easy low cross to play. Did so perfectly, and Alonso slotted the ball in expertly from just inside the box. Great goal, great play. And basically just poor from Arsenal defence, in particular by Bellerin. And in the first 50 minutes, guys, I'm telling you, we were ripping Arsenal apart. Yes, we only scored 1 goal, but we were ripping them apart. They had no idea what to do with us. But after those 50 minutes, Arsenal kind of found their feet in the game a little bit more. Bellerin ran around Alonso, was actually offside, but the linesman didn't give it. Bellerin cut the ball back to Aubameyang, who was completely unmarked, well inside the box, but actually put his shot over the bar. A huge miss. And almost like with our first goal, we yet again scored basically straight after the big chance for Arsenal. And you wouldn't believe who scored. Alvaro bloody Morata. Alvaro bloody Morata made it 2-0 in the 20th minute. Arsenal played a very high line at that moment, stood a few yards inside our half actually, as Azpilicueta decided to yet again become the assist master for Morata, as he played a perfect long ball from very deep. Morata outpaced Mustafi to the box, then made the German look silly with one simple turn really, and slotted it in through Mustafi's legs and pass check from just inside the box. A great finish, and that's exactly the kind of Morata that we need at Chelsea. A great finish, a great run. His overall game maybe wasn't the most incredible, but that goal was very good. And we were definitely the better team in the first part of the game, even with Aubameyang missing a chance, but it was, clearly offside anyway, in all honesty. But still, it was obvious to see that the system isn't fully clicking yet, because Arsenal, and as the game went on, that happened more and more, found themselves in way too much space, a number of times, and that shouldn't be the case. After about half an hour played, Mkhitaryan missed a similarly huge chance to Aubameyang earlier. The ball came in from the left-hand side this time, just past Kante's slide tackle. Mkhitaryan with acres of space right in the middle of our box, and again just put it over the bar. We were a bit lucky, but their finishing by that point was simply atrocious. But in the 37th minute, Arsenal did make it 2-1. Barkley played a rather light pass to Willian, who didn't react quickly enough and probably, should have reacted quicker, and we wouldn't have lost the ball. We did lose the ball. Arsenal played the ball down the left, cut it back to Mkhitaryan at the edge of the box, who took the shot first time into the bottom left corner, a curling effort. Kepa did get a strong hand to it. He did, but he couldn't keep it out. And I'm sorry to say it, but he has to save the. You can't get as much of a hand on it as he did. and, let it in. Like, he has to save it. I get he's young, I'm not criticising him, but on that goal, should have done better. I mean, the game itself was incredible to watch, but the likes of Mourinho and Conte would shoot themselves looking at it because defensively, both sides were really poor, around that period of the game especially. And just 4 minutes after getting the goal back, Arsenal got the equaliser as well. Again, down our left-hand side, Arsenal's attacking right-hand side. Alonso got taken out of the game by Bellerin and had no support with him at all. Mkhitaryan, similar to their first goal and to their two big chances as well, then cut the ball back towards the middle of our box. Iwobi got there, first and slotted in from fairly close range. I don't know how we kept leaving the centre of our box so completely open. I might have to watch the game back because it was just beyond me. Like, that was 4 or 5 times in the space of, 15, 20 minutes that Arsenal kept doing the exact same thing. Crossfield balls to, their wingers, then overloading our fullbacks, getting past them and cutting, low cross back towards the centre of our box. And then their players were just free. And there was no Chelsea players around to stop them, and it was just infuriating. Because just a few minutes later, the same thing happened again, as Aubameyang almost put Arsenal, in the lead just before half-time as well. Again, completely unmarked in the middle of our box, but thankfully, he put it just wide, maybe slightly scraping the outside of the post, but he did put it wide. And Arsenal were definitely the stronger side towards the end of the first half. And like I said, overloading the fullbacks, playing crosses, mostly low crosses towards the centre, and it was infuriating. But we did go into half-time at 2-2, and it was a crazy half of football. Chelsea with the much better start, going 2 goals up, while Aubameyang missed that sitter to equalise at 1-0. But as the half went on, Arsenal managed to exploit our defensive inabilities, if you will, a fair bit. And I felt the main issue was Alonso, especially on the left, not having any support by Ross Barkley and Willian as well, I suppose. Kante did his best to help Azpilicueta on the other side, and Pedro also did more defensive work than Willian. But the fullbacks were just exposed because Arsenal overloaded them, and, we didn't really know how to deal with that. Like I said, they just got past the fullbacks, cut the ball back with a low cross, and found themselves with a huge chance, and it just happened constantly. I mean, going forward and passing-wise, we were good in that first half, but we made it way too easy for Arsenal to create huge chances and get back to 2-0 before half-time. Getting into the second half, though, it was a bit similar to the first half at the start. Crazy end-to-end stuff a little bit, just a tiny bit calmer than especially the end of the first half was. But the first chance of the second half fell to Chelsea. So we played our way through nicely yet again, and N'Golo Kanté, out of all people, found himself inside the box with a good shooting opportunity, took the shot, but Sokratis blocked it. When Sokratis then went onto the ground, basically, the ball did touch his arm or his hand, but I'm really not sure you can give a penalty for that. I don't think so. If that was, given against us, I'd be absolutely fuming, so not a penalty from me. In the 57th minute, Ross Barkley actually made a great chance for himself of picking up a loose ball, going past multiple Arsenal players, taking a good shot while running away from goal as well, and while turning. A great shot that would have found, the far corner, but Cech actually made a very good save to keep that out. And after that, that was basically Barkley's last move of the game, because in the 60th minute, Eden Hazard came on for Willian, and Mateo Kovacic, our new signing on loan from Real Madrid, of course, came on to make his Chelsea debut as he, of course, replaced Ross Barkley. And after the first few minutes of the second half, we did regain the control of the game that we had early on. But at the time, I wasn't sure how to feel about that, because looking back at how Arsenal started to get at us at the end of the first half, obviously, looking at it in hindsight now, it's fine. But, I wasn't sure how to feel about us dominating at that point. But chances did become a bit of a rarity at that point, mainly because Arsenal started to sit very deep and start to defend. I mean, we had a fair few almost moments where the last pass just about didn't find its target, but until a very well struck free kick by David Luiz from a good 25 yards with, say, 20 minutes to go, and that forced Cech to make a decent save, there wasn't really many chances. In the 75th minute, Olivier Giroud came on for Pedro Morata as our last substitution, and then in the 81st minute, Marcos Alonso popped up again to score a late winner against the London rival. What a great guy. Great work by Eden Hazard on the left wing to get past this man. I think it was, like I said, no idea what he was doing there. The whole situation started by a misplaced pass by Lacazette, and then he was just a bit lackluster trying to defend against Hazard. So, poor work from him there. Alonso decided to be a wing-back again, made a run towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Hazard played in a nice low cross, or rather pass, you could almost say, because there wasn't much pace on it. Alonso took it first time in a very crowded Arsenal box and put the ball into the net between Petr Cech's legs, who couldn't get down fast enough, and obviously made it 3-2. I mean, like I said, Marcos Alonso against big rivals, eh? I mean, last year he did against Spurs, now he did against Arsenal, to, get us a very, very good win. Very good win. I mean, he has huge deficiencies at the back, but his goal scoring record and generally his attacking contribution, because obviously he got the assist for the first goal today as well, you can't fault. Like, massive fair play to the guy. Still think he'd actually be better as an actual midfielder than as a left back. But, that's a different discussion for a different day. And then after making it 3-2, we actually had 3 good chances to make it 4-2 through Olivier Giroud twice and through Eden Hazard as well, I think, who once did extremely well. Like, build-up play to one of Hazard's chances that, Cech saved, because that angle was just too tight for Arsenal to do much. But the build-up play for that between Giroud, Kovacic and Hazard themselves, Jesus Christ, I mean, just gorgeous. But yeah, that was it. That was full time at 3-2, and it was a huge win. A good performance, some outstanding attacking play. Sarri ball and his system working better every game, but still some huge defensive problems that need to be solved as soon as possible were shown up by Arsenal. Overall, in my opinion, we did deserve to win, even if Arsenal had some very big chances in the last 50 minutes of the first half and could well have been ahead by 3-2 or even 4-2. But, you know, overall, I still think we deserve to win because for a good 60 minutes, for a good hour of that game, we were definitely by far out the better team. In control, creating chances, dominating possession, and minimising Arsenal's attacking threat. I mean, overall, we had 62% of the ball, 10 shots on target compared to 6 for Arsenal, and also we won more tackles throughout the game. I mean, Sarri ball isn't anywhere near working to its fullest yet, but still, we won our first 2 games, including the clash against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, who Conte couldn't beat in 4 attempts last season. There are still these people that criticise Sarri, he's not using Hudson-Odoi and, you know, these kind of things, and just, that would have never happened on a Conte when we conceded those 2 goals. Well, I mean, Conte couldn't beat Arsenal in 4 attempts last season, and Sarri did in his first try this season. So, fair play. You know, I don't want to slag off Conte here, but it's just annoying to me when Conte's gone now. Just focus on Sarri and just support him. There's no point in all this bullshit. Sorry, but it's just a bit ridiculous. And also, I find it a bit ridiculous that people were trying to blame individuals for the defensive problems at the end of the first half when Arsenal created their huge chances. It's a team problem because the system isn't fully working yet. It's not individual problems that are causing all of this. It's not take David Luiz out and play Christensen and it's all solved. It's not play Emerson and instead of Alonso and it's all solved. It's not sign a new left back instead of them 2 and it's all solved. That's not how it works. And that wouldn't make that change that you're hoping for. It's about supporting each other, you know, knowing where and when to run. You know, the players don't support each other enough. Like I said earlier, Barkley didn't support Alonso enough. Kante did support Athby enough, but maybe not fully yet either. And yes, some players did make individual mistakes, you know, but it's still a team problem overall. You know, Kepa should have saved that first goal, but made a few good other saves in the game as well. And he's young, he's new to the league, it's a new team, and he'll be very good in my opinion as well. Alonso and Azpilicueta both had their defensive struggles, and Jorginho as well still needs time to find his feet in the Premier League, as his track and back is not what it needs to be just yet, in my opinion. So, you know, there are defensive difficulties. David Luiz and Rudiger's positioning at times, maybe. But like I said, down to the system, not just individuals. So please just stop blaming individuals for, you know, every single goal. And, you know, you could say the whole Kepa should have saved the first goal, yes. But if Barkley plays a better pass and Willian, you know, reacts quicker, the whole situation doesn't even happen. But going forward, I can't fault anyone at all. Willian was the quietest one by far, you know, didn't really do all too much, in all honesty. Pedro, but fair play to the guy. He had a great game. I said in pre-season, you know, I'd rather tell Pedro than Willian, and I'm not sure if I still stick by that. Still kind of on the fence. But Pedro had a great game today. And, like, you know, at that point when Pedro made it 1-0, so far under Sarri, Pedro scored 4 goals and all the other players scored 3 goals. It's a bit mad. But, you know, fair play to Pedro. Morata scored a very good goal as well. Was a bit quiet in other parts of the game, but that you kind of get that under Sarri depending on how well you're playing and how much you dominated your position, that the striker isn't always as involved. It depends on who his striker is, and he gets a lot of goals usually, but he's not on the ball that much usually. And also, you know, Arsenal have decent defenders in Socrates especially. And, you know, Morata found it hard. But when he did get his chance, he did take it very well and he put us 2-0 up at the time. And I think that could be huge for him. I really hope that can kind of spark his season under Sarri and, you know, get things flowing and, you know, just leave off the criticism basically. And also, you know, midfield was just incredible, like especially the passing, including Kovacic as well. It was just class almost all the time. And then, of course, when Eden Hazard came on, that just gave us a completely different level. Like, with and without Hazard, it's just a huge difference at Chelsea. And now you just wait. Like, everyone that's not a Chelsea fan, and even Chelsea fan, you just wait until Hazard is fully fit and ready to start every week. And then you just wait some more until the system under Sarri is working to its best. Trust me, you'll be scared of Eden Hazard. But yeah, that's really it for me. Leave me all of your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Who was your man of the match? I think I'd have to give it to Pedro because I think his overall game was incredible. But yeah, I mean, leave me any other thoughts you have down in the comment section below. Let's see, like I said, if we can hit 1,000 or more likes in this video, that'd be absolutely amazing. Also, don't forget to check out my social media, which is Last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here. And also the links to both of them will be down in the description. So if you could follow me over there, I would massively appreciate it. And of course, it is YouTube. So if you haven't already, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also don't forget to click the notification bell button and choose to be notified with all uploads. To be honest, I couldn't be much happier right now. Wait, we haven't beaten in how long, Arsenal fans? Exactly. So shut up. Lads, we're going to have a great week. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chels. London is blue. And I'll see you next time.